Hello and welcome back, Clipper fans, for another preseason interview. Jonathan Timm here, back once again. I'll be on the call for Muskegon Clippers baseball all season long. Hey, we're just a few weeks away from opening day versus the Jetbox Baseball Club, so fans, be sure to come out to historic Marsh Field for that 7:05 first pitch on June 6th. Speaking of Marsh Field, I'm joined today by the man in charge of the Clippers Diamond, Pete Gawkowski, is in the house. And without further ado, Pete, how are you doing on this wonderful May day as we are starting to zero in on the upcoming season?
Doing well, Jonathan. Thanks. We're just real busy. It's real hectic this time of year. Obviously, the clock just winds down quicker than you expect, and all of a sudden we've got like 21 days to the opener. So it's getting real hectic, but we're keeping the pace.
That pace you are keeping, and hey, again, 21 days. It's been a long winter, but we're finally starting to come around in hopes to get the season underway soon. So let's take a moment to appreciate the work you do, and diving into some content. Pete's, like I mentioned earlier, the Clippers call historic Marsh Field home, and there's a reason for the word historic being the adjective to describe it. Now, 107 years of the field's existence. Pete, give us a rundown about the history of the ballpark, along with the significance of the diamond as a whole to the city of Muskegon.
Well, I think it's very, very important to the city. It was deemed a historical landmark by the state of Michigan a few years ago, and that's pretty cool. It was built in 2016 by Charles W. Marsh. He was a local businessman. He bought a 4-block area of Muskegon at the corner of Layton and Peck, and basically tore it down and built a state of the art ballpark. It was all made out of wood at that time, obviously, but it was a beautiful park at the time, and they did a lot of baseball, played a lot of industrial type leagues in the very beginning, and then in the 40s they got into minor league baseball with the Chicago White Sox had a team there, and the New York Yankees had a team there called the Muskegon Clippers, and so it's been pretty cool. There's been about 28 former Hall of Famers who have either played or coached at Marsh Field over the years. So there's a lot of historical significance. Everybody you talk to here knows about Marsh Field and has a story to tell. It's really pretty cool.
That it is. I actually didn't know that it was played on by major league teams, and I guess that just all adds to the history and significance of the diamond. We talked about the history of Marsh Field in general. Now let's talk about the history of the Clippers organization as a whole. So walk me through the founding of the modern day Clippers organization and how it all came together.
Well, we originally took over management of Marsh Field back in 2010, and our agreement with the city is that we manage the ballpark. They don't charge us any fee to use it, and we're able to generate revenues through the ballpark to go back into the field. In the very beginning, the field was in really bad shape, and was actually, I believe it was unplayable at the time we took it over. It was quite bad, but we took it over and started working with it. Started to put improvements into it. We put in a new infield, put in a new netting behind the screen. We got a new scoreboard. We upgraded the lights. I'm missing some things, but we did. It's night and day from where it was when we took it over today, and we just basically kept improving and improving. We played some revenue was based on some men's city league games that we ran and tournaments and those kinds of things. Then we got to the point where we needed a major source of revenue, and the park was ready for it. So we contacted the Great Lakes League and applied for membership. It took us 3 years to actually get into the league, but once we did, things were rolling. We worked with a group called we actually helped run it, but it was the Michigan Summer Collegiate League, and the Clippers started there in like 2014. I think we played 2 or 3 seasons in that league, and then we were able to merge into the Great Lakes League, which was huge for us, and that's when we really started to move and started to generate revenue, and all that revenue obviously went back into the ballpark, and working with local businesses, companies, all kinds of places, we were able to get to the point where we are. And it's a really nice park now. You can tell it's got some age to it, and it still needs some improvements. But if you could have seen it, would be now 13 years ago. It's just no comparison. It's really, really a nice place to play, a nice place to watch a game. It's very intimate and holds only about 700 people at this point. And so that's kind of the history of where we went. We had to have a team to generate revenue for the good of the ballpark, and that's what we did.
Well, I'm excited to experience the Marsh Field and Clippers organization for the first time in a couple short weeks. But like I said before, a big summer of baseball lies ahead for the Clippers. I'm excited. Fans, I hope you're excited. Get your season tickets now, by the way. But Pete, you personally, now having seen the organization bloom for a little bit and with the big anticipation over this offseason, what are you personally excited about going into this year?
Well, we're excited every year. I mean, it's difficult to recruit because these guys come from all over. We've got a young man from Australia coming, one from the state of Washington, one from Arizona, a lot of guys from the state of Michigan, but I can't say that other than the returning players, which I think we have 5 this year, we haven't seen any of them play. So we're going a lot on video, word of mouth, that kind of thing, what their coaches say about them. And you just never know what you're going to get. So it's always fun to see him out there the first time and, oh, he's better than I thought he was, or whatever, you know. So it's always exciting to see the new guys come to town and put together the team and see them play. This year we're having it's not the first time, but we're having a preseason exhibition game against the Manistee Saints, which is a city just north of Muskegon, a couple hours. And they've got a men's team that have played for many, many years in different leagues around the state. And they're going to come down and play a doubleheader with us on June 4th. So that'll be a good tune-up. We'll be able to play 2 7-inning games and get a look at hopefully a lot of the pitchers and a lot of the players and get an idea for the coaches to see what they can do and where they fit in best. So that looking forward to that too. So should be interesting. We always have high expectations, but you just never know. The league is really good. It's tough to win games in this league. I'm telling you, it's really, really good baseball. You'll be impressed. So looking forward to all of that.
Well, with that game against the Manistee Saints, I personally am excited to kind of get an idea of teammate chemistry, how the players interact on the field, and just overall player tendencies as well as we go into the season. And I got one final question for you, Pete. Like I mentioned, you're in charge of the organization and you've seen your fair share of games over the years, and you've seen some big moments, I'm sure, of course, at historic Marsh Field. So Pete, what's the greatest sequence, game, play, or moment that you've ever seen with the Clips at Marsh Field in Muskegon?
There's Jonathan, there's been a lot of them. Last year especially, we just had a tendency to win walk-off games, and those are always the best. I remember one game with Augie Hutchinson, an outfielder we had last year, hit a home run to win a game in walk-off fashion. That was incredible. I remember the game that we beat I believe it was the Lima Locos to take us into the playoffs for the first and only time. That was in 2019. That was at home, and that was pretty exciting. Nice crowd, and we won that game, and everybody kind of went crazy. And those videos are all on our website. You can look back and see those, and it's really pretty cool to see how the fans get into it, how the players get into it. I mean, they're just running out on the field, dumping water on each other, and it was pretty cool. But there's been a lot of moments there, but I would say the game probably that put us in the playoffs was pretty exciting. Hopefully we'll have another one of those this year. Hopefully.
Looking forward to being on the call for some hopefully exciting moments. Looking forward to meeting you and the rest of the staff personally. And without further ado, Pete, thank you again for your time today. And again, all of us looking forward to the upcoming season of Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League Baseball, but most importantly, go Clips.
Yep. Thanks, Jonathan. I appreciate it and look forward to seeing you. And I know you'll have a good time this summer in Muskegon.
Of course. Thank you all Clipper fans for tuning into this preseason interview. Again, get your tickets now. June 6th is opening day, but June 4th, Manistee Saints come to town as well. And again, we will see you next time, and go Clippers.